is a -1.
Oh my god.
That's a 0. You win the gyro.
Yeah, let's go.
Dual mode engaged. Autopilot standing by.
Okay, I go first.
Here we go. I won the dice roll. Everyone loves to go first. And my hand is very interesting. Not to say the least that it's not something I didn't prepare for, because that's the whole reason we play Coral Dragon. So I start with Fateful. I normal summon Tristaros, just in case he does, I don't know, like draws me and then I'm like forced to do it this way. So I go for right, and this is why we play the 6, the Coral Dragon. For one, we play Coral because we need stuff, or we need our extra to be able to crack boards, break boards, have spot removal. But this is like another reason why we play as well, because we can do this line. So we go Coral into Trist effect, popping Coral, summoning out 2 Tristaros, Sulfador, and this is where we can chain block. Chain 1 Sulfador, chain link 2 Coral Dragon, assuming it didn't ash the Tristaros. So draw a card, and then I can dump 2, which gets me everything I need. It'll give me Sulfador, and it'll give me access to Inclusion. I mean Sulfafnir. Add Smiger. Smiger then discards itself for my Sulfafnir. Pop itself. Go into another 5. And then I ask him, do you have anything here? And he's like, Nibiru. But we all know that Nib doesn't really hurt us. But then he changed his freaking Imper. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. But I think we're still okay because we still have Inclusion. We have not used the effect of Sulfador. So it'll equate to the same thing as if we were to resolve our Tristaros effect. Because usually we go Tristaros into Samurai Destroyer, and then Resolution, tribute everything, and then Samurai Destroyer will then revive a machine, right? And then we have Inclusion to reborn a 5. This is basically the same thing because we preserved our Sulfador's effect.
No, I summoned it.
And I'm just letting them know that I have not used its effect yet. I just summoned it off of Sulfafnir and off of Tristaros effect.
Yeah, Inclusion to reborn.
And then Inclusion revives my 5. I want to keep the Sulfafnir engraved. I don't want to have it as a material. I could detach it later, but it's just better just keep it in the graveyard. And then he leaves his Nibiru in attack mode, so I just take, and I'm like I said, 2, and then I pass. My hand is there's no hand traps. I think it's just Draco Pack. I keep the Draco Pack in hand because there's no reason to equip it. You know, I'd rather just keep it in hand. And this is where he reveals that he's playing White Forest. So I wanna prevent any snowball effects from happening. So I just imprint the effect to search. He reveals the new White Forest card that whenever you synchro with it, it searches the Sinful Spoils card. So I'm trying to prevent that. So I'm going to just pop it now. So then if he has an extender, I just negate the extender, assuming he has an extender, right? But for the most part, usually this is how it ends with White Forest. he just ends up scooping.
Dual mode engaged. Autopilot standing by.
So we start game 2, and I'm like, please open up hand traps. Please open up hand traps. And I can't remember what my hand is. All I know is that I have Triple Tactics, and my hand's pretty good actually. It's not bad. Like I have everything I need to try to crack a board. Unless it's an insanely oppressive board, then I might be struggling. But he combos off, goes for Sylvie. Sylvie searches Tails, synchros away for level 6 synchro, and then the level 6 synchro will then search him a White Forest card. Tails will trigger because it was set by effect, setting itself. Then he specials the new White Forest card, activates Tails to search Stellar. Yeah, Stellar. Synchro away for Queen, chain 1, adding back to Tails, chaining 2, the new White Forest card, adds a Deception. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm expecting to get an Omni. This is basically what this equates to. Whenever you get access to Deception, it's either the Searcher, which is Murcielago, or it's going to be your Sylvia, which is the Omni. But he goes for Murcielago first, and searches Wanted, adds back Hollowed by returning Azamina card. Activate. So chain 1, chain 2, so that means you can send Wanted as cost to get to his Sylvie. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. This is looking pretty damn good. So I'm gonna need like my tactics. I'm gonna need droplets. If I had Bestials, that would have been insane. Possibly hinder him, but I'm not sure how much it would affect him. But I don't know. He goes, and then now he pivots into Fiendsmith. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now I have to deal with an Omni, and I'm gonna have to deal with the Woes, which is the one that summons and lets him synchro, which most often than not it's gonna be the Wolf, which is like the Book of Moon, where it flips everything face down, which is not good because I want to synchro. I need to be able to synchro stuff away. And then he goes for a Gumday. He goes effect. Was it Sylvie? Yeah, Sylvie. Links way into the. Oh, she's new. She's the new one. She just came out. Basically, you discard a card and then either reborn a light or dark, and then banish her to the next standby phase. I can't remember. Or you can pop a card. Revise Gumday. Or Gnome-day. I don't know how to pronounce it. No, let's say Gnome-day. And he goes Stellar, send to special. He then activates Gnome-day, summons back Desiree. Yugioh sends Gnome-day, draw a card. And I'm like, well, my hands. I mean, my hand's pretty damn good. He goes for SP. My hand's like it's looking pretty good, but I think he just has too much. He just has way too much. He has a Pomp. He has an Omni and like an Abyss Dweller. Not an Abyss Dweller. I drawn to draw. I'm like, oh my god, that's like the worst. It's like drawing to Nibiru. It's like so frustrating. But there's so many things to deal with here. So right now, this is the 1-card SP, so this will threaten a few things. Special, and then he goes, hang on, let me think here. And he goes, effect of the new link, I think it's bow or something. Pops my Terratop, which is, I prefer that because that means I can go into Clockwork Knight with my Takuton. So then I think I should have just, yeah, he does this preemptively because he doesn't want me to go into an SP and then go chain effective banish, change Lancia, and then chain 3 SP banish something else to bait an interaction. But I don't think it mattered though, because my hand just is not enough. So I just end up scooping.
Dual mode engaged. Autopilot standing by.
So we go to game 3, and I'm just like, my deck's consistent. I shouldn't be able to brick. And I think I have like a choice to make, I think, because he opens up the Charmy, the one that basically lets him draw cards for every time I special something from graveyard or banished. So I mean that's good against us, because like Fualos, we can kind of play around Fualos, it's not much of an issue, but like Perulia, it's kind of an issue. I mean they can get him a draw, I guess, but like this Charmy, this one's like the worst, I guess. So then I go off and get access to my adventure stuff, get access to my Griffin, discard a C-Tree. It's annoying when you draw C-Tree. I'm gonna link off my Smiger, and this is where I'm contemplating whether to just give him a few draws and get my setup, but Y-Force needs multiple cards to function, so I feel like if I can just restrict that, I think I should be in a better position, because I do not want to give him any more cards that can possibly help him extend through my interactions, through my Omni and through my cluster and through the cards I have in my hand. So then I just choose to be real conservative and not go for the Soulful Doors, because then that means, why am I going for Soulful Door, which means I would want to go for Inclusion revive from grave, to, so I'd rather just avoid that. But these are the times where I wish I had the turtle, because then that turtle can still help me get to an interaction. And this is where he telegraphs. He telegraphs the Nibiru, because he was like kind of counting my summons, and I'm like, no, it's 4. It's Adventure Token, Smiger, Clockwork Knight, and my Griffin. So then he goes for Engraver and adds. I was a bit confused why he added Paradise, but then I was like, oh, okay, I see why. because that means you can discard the Feral Zet and then it can put it in the graveyard. And this is where I do not want any snowball effects happening. So I negate the LZ. He goes for Wanted. Yeah, because if I let LZ resolve, it just snowballs out of nowhere, and then there's no way. It just makes my interaction very mediocre. So then once he discards the Nib, I'm like, yeah, I kind of assumed he was counting. And he goes for Witch, discards the Nib, and he sets Deception. I'm like, this should be fine because I just chain to it. All I have to do is just go Cluster Pop, and it's just like so much value for me. It's like way too much value. And then I feel like this kind of stumbles him a bit, and he goes for a Wanted, banish Wanted, put back a Sinful Spoils card to draw a card. I'm like, okay, what does he draw? He draws, and he seems pretty happy about it. He summons Sylvie. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I'm like, okay, well, I think I have Magnum in hand. So then he goes for Tails Search, and this is where it can kind of snowball. This is what I was trying to prevent with the LZ. But he ended up getting to it because of that Wanted draw. I mean, that's kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh is all about. Getting that one draw that can kind of like get things going. So he goes Chain 1, Chain 2, one searches White Force card, one searches a Sinful Spoils card, and then he adds Rusia. Rusia's links it away into Moon, and this is where he starts pivoting into his Fiendsmith cards. And I'm like, okay, well, where's this gonna go? So he tries to go Engraver. I'm like, okay, this is my time to shine. Here you go, Magnamut. Magnamut, get rid of the Engraver. And I'm like, okay, so he has one card. It's a Subversion, so I should be okay. Yeah. And then he goes Paradise. Paradise sends Desiree. Desiree returns his Requiem, and he's contemplating what he wants to send, but he just ends up deciding on sending Fateful. I'm not sure. I think at this point it seemed like he kind of knew that, okay, I'm not sure how far this duel's gonna go. So I just pressure him with the Druis, and I'm not sure what he's going for here. He's just trying to get to 2 bodies. But yeah, this Druid should not be here. Just keep it in mind. We correct it later. This Druid should be stuck in my hand. So then he goes Battle Phase, attacks my Clockwork Knight, and then he passes. I'm like, hang on. End phase, I need to search a dragon, and title is a dragon. So I was like, oh, it's so cool, because that gives me engine for the following turn. So but then I draw to another title. I'm like, okay, fair enough, I guess. But I can just pitch it anyway, so it's fine. So right here, I'm just like, well, what does he have here? I just force the Queen, right? Force Queen. He has what, two revives in Engrave, because he'll summon the Wolf, right? Book my guy, but I can just flip it. I can flip Magnum out face up right away because it was summoned last turn. So I should be okay. So then he flips it, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. Yeah. Title effects. This will dump in my Smiger, which then gives me inclusion, which then gives me access to my Surfador. And that sets up everything that I need. And knowing that he doesn't really have anything else, all I'm trying to do is just calculate game here, because we are approaching time, and losing in time is probably the worst thing. Like, especially when you're in full control and you lose in time, is like the worst. You're like, oh my god, but that's just the rules, you know. So that's why some of these things are gonna be slightly off. Like you'll see right now, I think I end up banishing something that I'm not meant to banish. I go for Alesk. Alesk adds back Smiger. I go Tristaro's effect, pop my Alesk to summon the 2 Crystron from deck. Summon my Sylphador, summon Tristaro's, trigger my Alesk, reviving a 5. And then this is going to end up making my Nova into Infinity. And right here, I think right here, yeah, this is where I make a mistake. I banish these guys on accident, and then when I go for the effect of pop of Vermilion, I forget that like that Tristaro should be in my graveyard. It should be there. So that's the reason I went for Vermilion, to pop it, force the bounce, and just end up popping the other things, you know. But I forget, and because time is approaching, it's like I think like a minute left or something. I go negate. He changed the other one. I'm like, fine, fair enough. I guess at least I should have enough to at least put me ahead of time. So then I attack, and I attack. So if time is called, I should be fine either way, right? And,
Me too.
time is called.